Hello, welcome to the Construction Intelligence Brief, the weekly breakdown of what's actually moving the needle in construction AI. I'm Rod Usta from Uniseros, and this week's brief covers the week of March 16. So here's the big picture this week. Three signals are converging that tell us something fundamental has shifted. First, ConExpo, the biggest show in construction, made it clear that generic AI tools have faded into background. What replaced them? Purpose-built tools targeting specific workflows, safety prediction, equipment optimization, field management. Second, 6 AI ConTech startups raised over $100 million in just the first 10 weeks of 2026. That capital is flowing towards specialized tools, not horizontal platforms. That's a maturity signal. Third, the AI infrastructure supercycle. Jensen Huang's $700 billion baseline for data center build-out is directly reshaping AEC. Data centers are now the fastest growing segment of non-residential building. What ties these together? The barrier to adoption is no longer about tools, cost, or even technology. It's about culture, complexity, and integration. It's the human side of things. Next, let's just focus on ConExpo. Engineering News Record reported that generic AI has faded into the background at this year's show. What took its place is much more interesting, a purpose-built AI targeting specific construction problems. Oracle showcased their construction and engineering advisor for safety, a system that monitors field engagement in real time and actually forecast safety incidents before they happen. Two named contractors, Suffolk Construction and Boldt Construction, each reported reducing recordable safety incidents by more than 30% using this tool. Think about that. 30% fewer recordable incidents. That's not a marginal improvement. That's a step change in safety outcomes. John Deere and Workman Group demonstrated benchmarking automation for excavators, concrete batch plant management, and operator training also featured as AI-targeted workflows. This is the better way. When ConExpo shifts from what if to how fast can be deployed, the whole industry takes notice. And the next one is the startup funding. 6 AI-powered construction tech startups collectively raised over $100 million in the first 10 weeks of this year, and let me walk you through them. At the top, Field, out of London, raised $41 million in a Series B. They do reality capture, so their software analyzes job site video for safety, quality, and delivery issues. They reported 82% revenue growth year over year, and they're projecting over 40% of revenue from the US by end of 2026. Sansera Systems in Colorado raised $27 million. They built AI-powered site cameras that flag safety hazards and generate daily briefings. XBuild in San Francisco raised $19 million for AI-powered estimating, initially focused on roofing but expanding to other trades. Then you got Moab at $16 million, building an operating system for construction equipment rentals. Payra at $15 million, modernizing B2B payments for construction suppliers, and Berkanta in Stockholm at $8 million for pre-construction workflows and bid analysis. The signal here isn't just the dollar amount, it's the breadth. The capital is flowing towards specialization, safety, estimating, payments, rentals, not towards horizontal platforms. That's what market maturity looks like. Next, we have a story about Trimble. So, a quick note on the confidence tag here. There's one company reported not independently verified. Keep that in mind. So Trimble, a $13 billion AEC technology giant, described AI adoption across its product line as already widespread. That language matters. So what are they pointing to? 4 capabilities. Text prompt 3D editing, where you describe changes in natural language and the model updates. Automated geometry classification, automated document processing, and real-time compliance checking. Now, whether widespread is fully accurate is another question. And Trimble is selling software after all. But here's why it matters. When the largest software vendor in AEC describes AI as standard practice, not a future feature, the baseline expectation shifts for the entire industry. So your competitors are no longer asking if they should use AI. They're asking which AI tool fits their workflow. Our next story is the $700 billion AI build-out. And this one has massive implications for construction. NVIDIA's CEO Jensen Huang stated that the combined $700 billion in AI infrastructure capex announced by big tech companies is, in his words, just the beginning. He said trillions of dollars of infrastructure still need to be built. McKinsey backs this up with a cumulative estimate of $6.7 trillion globally by 2030. Now, here's why this matters specifically for AEC. Data center construction is now the fastest growing segment of non-residential building. Actalent's research found that data center spending drove approximately 94% of non-residential construction growth in 2024, 94%. And it's creating real supply chain pain. Transformer shortages, switchgear lead time stretching out, and critical electrician gaps are already impacting project schedules. The Bureau of Labor Statistics estimates electrician demand will grow 9% through 2034, with roughly 81,000 openings per year. This is construction building the engine of AI while simultaneously being reshaped by it. That takes us to the virtuous cycle, building AI using AI. So here I want to pause on a concept because I think it's underappreciated. The construction sector is building the physical infrastructure that powers AI, the data centers, the electrical systems, the cooling plants, and at the same time, it's learning to use AI tools to manage safety, estimating, scheduling, and field operations on those very same projects. This is a virtuous cycle. The sector building AI infrastructure is the same sector adopting AI tools. Each side accelerates the other. More AI demand means more data center construction. More data center construction means more complex projects that benefit from AI-powered management. This feedback loop is why I think construction AI adoption is going to accelerate faster than most people expect. Now, I want to focus on the adoption gap. The adoption gap is widening. And here's where the data gets really interesting. Let's look at the numbers. Only 27% of AEC professionals currently use AI in their operations. This is roughly 1 in 4. The other 3/4 are on the sidelines. But, and this is the critical part, 94% of those who are already using AI plan to expand their usage in 2026. That's near universal intent to go deeper. And the third number, 68% of early adopters report saving at least $50,000. So you have a minority that's adopted AI. That minority is seeing real financial returns, and nearly all of them are planning to expand. That's the adoption flywheel starting to spin. Now let's see leaders versus laggards. So if the tools exist and the ROI is proven, why are 73% of firms still on the sidelines? The answer is not cost. Look at the barriers. Complexity is number 1, culture is number 2, and integration is number 3. Cost barely registers. So complexity means firms do not know where to start. There are now 40 plus AI solutions mapped by built worlds according to design through field management. That's a lot of options and not enough guidance. Culture means internal resistance, like getting field teams to change how they work even when tools are better takes leadership, training, and patience. Integration means connecting new AI tools to existing systems, your ERP, your project management software, your document workflows. That's a technical challenge, but also an organizational one. On the flip side, the firms that have pushed through these barriers are seeing real results. 67% of adopters anticipate over 20% profit growth from AI, and that's the gap between leaders and laggards, and it's widening every quarter. Next, a very interesting story about how domain experts are building their own AI tools. And it's my favorite one this week. So, a story appeared on Dev Community about an interior designer named Konstantin with over 20 years in construction. Zero programming background, never heard of React or SQL before this project. In 50 days, using Claude and ChatGPT, he built a full SaaS estimating platform. No code written manually. The platform automates work that used to take him 3 to 4 hours per project. Think about the implications. So this is a domain expert, someone who understands exactly what a person standing on a construction site with a tape measure actually needs. Building software that solves a real industry problem without engineers, without a traditional development cycle. This reshapes the ConTech competitive landscape. The people who understand construction best are now able to build its software, and it opens a pathway for non-technical founders that simply didn't exist 2 years ago. Next, data point of the week. Let me just leave you with the data point of the week, 4 numbers to remember. The first one, 27%. That's how many AEC professionals use AI today. 94%. That's how many of those users plan to expand their AI usage in 2026. $50,000 plus. That's what 68% of early adopters have already saved. And 20% plus profit growth. That's what 67% of adopters anticipate. The takeaway is simple. The minority that's adopted AI is seeing returns that the majority hasn't yet realized are available. That gap won't last forever. Finally, so here's the bottom line this week. The tools exist, the proof points exist, and the market is beginning to separate adopters from laggards. Field's 82% revenue growth, Suffolk and Boldt's 30% incident reductions, 68% of adopters saving $50K plus, $100 million in focused startup funding in 10 weeks. The question is no longer if construction AI will work. It's how fast your firm can deploy it and whether you're leading or catching up. That's the construction intelligence brief for the week of March 16th, 2026. This is Murat from Uniseros. If this was useful, please subscribe, share it with your team, and I'll see you next week.